I tell them all the time, I still ain't figured this out. I'm in it for the long run, I still ain't figured this out, man. She says she got the answers, I still ain't figured this out. He say he got the cures, I still ain't figured this out, man.
And welcome to another episode of the Crappy Awesome Podcast. It's your host, Kill C. Ray. If this is your first time tuning in, man, welcome. Platformcollection.com is where you find us. Go there, support the artists we support. Man, we got some cool things going on. Go check out all the other shows. Man, YouTube is blowing up. Check out Tumex's new show. We just launched that. There's already 11 episodes. You guys are showing mad love on that. Thank you so much for doing that. But today, man, I'm excited. I have the homegirl Zelly Vibes with me, and I'm excited about this, man. I want to hear the story. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of her journey. She's been having a lot of success in these last couple years, and we've had the pleasure of performing with her, hosting for her. It's been awesome to see her come up. But yeah, with no further ado, it's my homegirl Zelly Vibes in the house. Zelly, are you unmuted? There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Zelly.
What's good? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yo, so I am excited to have you here as well. I want to get into your story. I've done some research on my own, and there's a lot of stuff I want to ask you about, but you've had quite a journey in these last couple years, dude, and it's super inspiring. Your story is super inspiring. Your work ethic is super inspiring. And I know you're going to have a lot of insight to give to our listeners. We get a lot of young artists that listen to the show, always looking for insight. So it's your first time on the show, so let's start from the beginning. Where were you born?
I was actually born in Fortuna, California, which is 14 hours away from here. It's like up north by Eureka.
Okay.
Very small town. And yeah, I was born there, but I was raised in Mexico and then brought to America. And then I've been here in Las Vegas ever since.
So were you brought as like a child, teenager?
Yeah.
As
a child. I came out here towards the end of 5th grade, and then I started 6th grade here.
Oh, was that tough? Was it tough? Did you speak English?
No, I didn't. I came here knowing no English. It was a culture shock. It was so hard. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. Were you how long did it take before you started to be able to speak English and like kind of at least have a better understanding of like the culture here?
I want to say definitely towards high school. I mean, when I came out here, I liked it. Like, I remember listening to music, and I'm like, I used to live by the border.
Yep.
In Sonora, 15 minutes away from Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I was hip to the music, because I would watch MTV and stuff. And when you're in the border, you hear a lot of music from US. But actually living here, yeah, it was really hard. I was like in special classes.
Yeah.
I think it was called like ELL or something like that.
ESL, I think.
ESL, right?
Yeah.
English language, something.
Secondary language, yeah.
But yeah, and I was in those classes all the way up to high school. Like, it was really, really hard. I've always had an accent. It's gotten better. I feel like every year I keep learning new words still to this day, because what was hard for me was that when I came out here, shortly after I got here, so like 6th grade, that's when I started doing the music professionally.
Yeah.
I started with Spanish music only.
Right.
So
what exactly? Was it like mariachi or was it like, what kind of Spanish music?
Yeah, it was mainly mariachi music.
Wow.
And so, instead of practicing and all of that, I was rehearsing my Spanish music. I didn't really have anyone in the house that spoke fully English, and we didn't have cable or anything like that. So I really only was stuck with the radio, with like whatever I would hear on music. And I remember having a boombox, and I would just record what I would hear on the radio so I could listen to it over and over again,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I feel like that kind of helped me. But yeah, I it was really tough for me. Like I feel like, you know what, last year is when I felt like I realized that 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 changed so drastically. Like it it really did something to me. Like I feel like I realized that it hurt me more than I thought, you know? Like I
Oh
still
wow.
needed to recognize that and like heal from that. Like you have to first accept it and make peace with it so you can let it go, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was really tough. Like I just felt like you know, being a child in America, like coming
I'm
not
sure you
having
felt
any
very
friends,
alone.
yeah, you feel
Yeah.
really alone. You kids make fun of you know, and you know that you're cool. Like I knew I was cool. I like cool shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was the fact of like,
It was hard to
no,
relate.
yeah, it was hard
Yeah.
to relate. And then I had my Spanish music going on and it was going really great, but I was even embarrassed to to talk about it. I remember kids would come with the newspaper articles of me performing at places. They'll be like, this is you, this is you. I'd be like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? I just
Oh.
deny it. I didn't start getting comfortable and letting people know that I sang up until like senior year in high school. And that's only because I joined choir and I would get solos and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, I couldn't hide it.
So
Yeah.
did you think that, you're growing up and obviously it's weird, man, because I hear your story and I was just talking to somebody about this about you. I was like, you have a very, even though are you first generation here? Right? Yeah, right? First generation?
Yeah.
So first
Yeah.
generation here, but your story is in a very American story of like perseverance and pushing through
For
and like
real.
you know what I mean? Like it's a crazy story. Okay, so you're making music. You kind of come out of the music closet when you're
Yeah.
18ish around that time.
Right.
What was the thing that kind of led you into starting to like experiment with English music? Because you said you were listening to it a lot, but
Right.
obviously taking it on as like something that you want to do is a big step. Like what made you finally do
Right.
that?
You know, I just thought about something real quick before I answer that
Yeah.
question that I feel like I've been like lately I've been dying to get on interviews so I can talk about this because I feel like I really want to use my platform to to share this because I feel like we're going through this change. But what I was going to tell you is you know, even coming to America, when I actually started making friends, it was, you know, I had, you know, you come to America, there's people from all over the world, you know.
Right.
So I had my Hispanic friends, also my Black friends, my white friends. And I remember, you know, just mocking everything they would do or say, you know, all the slang words and things like that. And I remember that's how I started using the N word, you know. Now I
Uh-huh.
don't, obviously I don't use it, I don't say it. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because, you know, I've been like listening a lot and I just feel like I need to talk about it, you know.
Sure.
And I feel like coming to America, I didn't know any better because like I said, my Black friends were not telling me not to say it, you know, that they were
Right.
calling me the N word. So they were teaching me how to, well, actually hanging out with them was teaching me how to say it. And I knew it wasn't a word that I never even thought about using it in a bad term. It
Right,
was
right,
just
right, right.
how I would hear them using it, how I would hear it in music. So for the longest, yes, I did use it, but then it wasn't until I'm gonna tell you the story because
Sure.
this is crazy. I remember walking with my friend, one of my friends, and she uh, she wasn't Black. She was Hispanic, but she did look white.
Uh-huh.
And I remember walking with her on my way home, and she, you know, was using the N word. There was a group of Black kids behind us, and you know, maybe one or whoever got offended from that group of kids. I didn't even know them.
Yeah.
And they heard her say that, but they just started throwing rocks at us, and like I was so upset. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So it didn't dawn on me. But then later on, you know, when you grow up and you start listening to how maybe not your friends might get offended, but other people might get offended, you know? And so I just realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want to offend people,
Yeah.
especially, you know, just me thinking like, I don't know, like I just didn't feel comfortable with that, you know, and I stopped using the word. So
Why is it? Why
that
do you
I feel like that
feel?
was key
Why do you feel like it's like heavy on your heart? Like, why is that heavy on your heart right now?
because I feel like because I'm on my journey to being not just like not a racist, you know, but I'm on this journey to like really listening to people and like having compassion and being empathetic, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
with everything going on in the world. I feel like there's a lot of Spanish people who use the N word,
Mm-hmm.
but do not realize that offends other people because their friends don't care that they say it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like until this day, my friends who are black call me the N word, but
Sure.
I just don't feel the right to say it because if you're gonna be saying the word, then you gotta be ready for whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta be
Yeah.
ready for whatever through thick and thin. And that means that if someone gets offended, just because your friends don't get offended, but if someone gets offended, then you know what I mean? Like, um, then you're just gonna have to be ready to confront that and
Yeah.
be okay with that. You know, and I feel like it's heavy in my heart right now because a lot of injustice going on in the world, you know, and I just you got to really think about it like what are my values? Like what do I really want to share with the world? How can I be changing the world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just feel like it's important for me to talk about, especially if I'm on a platform like yours,
Yeah.
you know,
Man.
where I can share my point of view. And what the reason why I brought it up is because a lot of people come to America and they don't know English, so they start learning, and you hear music and you hear people saying it around you, so you don't
Right.
really think about it, you know. So I think it's important to talk about it.
That's
That's really
that's
why.
super dope. I mean, that's super dope, and thank you for sharing that. I know that's it's always a touchy subject, especially, and I would say this especially with Latinos because we grow up in communities with Black people and Black and
Right,
brown people have had such a connection throughout the years, both good and bad, negative and positive, just like any other people. But I think
right.
that is super important to talk, and it's brave. I talked to 60 East. You know 60 East is? So he's an artist
No,
here. He's here in
okay.
California. He throws a festival called the Happiness of Pursuit Festival, and he recently of Mexican descent as well, and he was recently talking to me about something very similar to that, like how once he educated himself on a lot of these things, he started to
Right,
see like the empathy that he needed to have whether he thought he felt it was wrong or not, it didn't really even
right,
matter. It mattered more
right.
to the people that he could be
This is
hurting.
not about us, right?
Right,
It's not
right.
about us. It's about listening to people who are offended, who are dealing with the injustice,
Yeah,
you know, and that's really where it comes to not being a non-racist, but an anti-racist, and actually
yeah,
doing our job and because it's not people's jobs to educate us, but I just feel like because I do have this platform,
yeah.
it's important for me to do my part. I feel like it's more than just sharing a post online. Like, are you really listening? Are you really doing your
Mm.
part? And I just really been reflecting on life and like, how did that happen? Like, why did I feel comfortable to say the word? And
Wow.
how did I stop using it? And I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it can inspire other people to reflect and choose what they want to go with. Like
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
want to, you know what I mean? You never know. Like, I don't know, me personally, I feel like I just think it's offensive. Whether
Mhm.
it's offensive to one person or everybody, it's still offensive to one.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna move like that.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out to you. That's super, super dope.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Damn, Zelly, you a deep motherfucker, Zelly.
Man, I'm a chill ass bitch, man. I just be minding my business and doing my part,
But
that's it.
it's
But I
cool though.
appreciate you.
I like the fact that it's part of the narrative of what you're talking about. Okay, let's get back in the story. So at
Yeah.
19, you start to when do you start to like experiment with like the English side of music? Let's start the journey of like when the
Right.
idea of Zelly Vibes starts
Mhm.
coming into your mind. When did that happen?
Right. Well, man, by this time, let me tell you, the reason why people didn't see me go through this is behind the scenes. I was from like 14, I was already writing English music.
Yeah.
It's just that, I was doing Spanish music, and so I just never released that, and two, kind of like putting yourself in a box when you're young. It's like, I'm Spanish. Uh, there's not really a lot of girls like me that are successful,
For
at the time.
sure.
That's how I viewed it.
For
And
sure.
so like I don't even think, I don't know, like, will people even like what I do, like I don't
Yeah.
know. So I didn't have the confidence, number one. Number two, I was already doing Spanish music, and my parents were very, very involved. My Spanish teacher, Isela Gutierrez,
Yeah.
she's my performance teacher, and at the time she was playing the role of like being my manager as well.
Yeah.
I traveled, I sang at private parties, schools, contests.
So
I was
you were
on
like
TV
well on your
shows.
way in that direction
Oh
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like, yes, like if you Google my name in Spanish or English, you'll find shit,
Yep.
on it. I was in TV contests. I like everywhere, since a young age, and it was beautiful. Now, the reason why I feel like I'm the performer that I am now is because of all of that, that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I went through being a child. But was it tough? Yes. Did I have a normal childhood? No, I didn't. I didn't actually. It was really tough. I was performing everywhere, private parties, schools, all that. I mean, I would literally skip school to do all these things,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even to the point where, and my parents are great people. They just wanted the best for me. And yeah, I just loved it so much that they would just support me, and like, but it was tough. I wasn't allowed to do anything other than music, or even had the time. I was in rehearsals or performing, and my
Wow.
parents were pretty strict about that. Yeah, I couldn't go to the movies, hang out with my friends, do any of that until probably like I was like a senior in high school.
When you look back
Like
on that,
or graduated.
was that a positive experience, or did you feel like what? Because what kind of kid were you? You know what I mean? Like, if your parents had to describe you, like what would they say around
I
that?
feel like I was, when it came down to the music, it made me very happy. But see, if we really go back, like, it was a positive and a negative at the same time. It was a positive because yes, I liked it, and I was good at it, and now it has impacted my life in a way that I'm very grateful for. But during the time, I was going through a lot. I
Yeah.
didn't really know how to speak English very well, and doing all that Spanish stuff after school wasn't helping.
Yeah.
It wasn't like helping
Right.
me in
Right.
school.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't. I felt behind all the time. I felt like it kind of, because it got so serious, I was having so much fun, and then it just turned into a business. I was making money at a young
Yeah. It
age
was like a job.
performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a job. I was performing. I was even, at one point, I was even performing at restaurants
Oh wow.
until like 11 p.m. at night, and then I had to go to school the next day. And did I ever like I had everything a kid could want, internet, a bed, food, clothes. I even had a cell phone in high school.
Yeah.
That's a lot to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know in Mexico kids that have all that,
Yeah.
And so it was cool in that sense, but I felt like I was already going through culture shock, number one. And my parents were very strict. I was a kid. So I feel like that led me to be rebellious. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I started being a bad kid, like bad in a sense of like ditching and
Right.
doing the things that my parents weren't letting me do um, after school, during school hours, because that's the only time I could.
Oh, I
You
got
know?
you. Got you.
Yeah, and so yeah, I would ditch a lot. But shout out to my mom, because my mom, she was on that shit. Like, thanks to her, I graduated high school. She
Yeah.
realized what was going on. I went to hella schools. Like, she kept switching me from school to school until finally she put me in this school for foreign exchange students.
Oh,
And so
wow.
she put me in this school where I had to have C and C plus, C and up. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't be below that. And I actually even graduated early, from that.
Yeah.
I became school body president. Because it was only like 150 students,
Uh-huh.
and they were from all over the world. Like it was a lot different. Like kids didn't give a fuck, they were happy they were in America,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a lot different. So that's I was really bad. So, but during all this time, I remember Miss Wickham, which was my choir teacher. She was the first person that I started showing her my songwriting skills.
Yeah.
And I would perform my songs for her. So she's the one that really gave me the confidence
In
to keep
English.
going with that. Huh?
In English?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
so did you know, I mean, what was her response? Was it positive? Were
She
you like,
loved
oh, there's
it. She
something
believed
here?
in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. She actually would even call the teachers and my principal to hear me sing. Like she
Oh,
just
wow.
believed in me so much. She actually even got me to sing the national anthem in English for my graduation.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
she
such, I
did.
mean, you got like a little mini movie here.
Bro,
Yo,
it's
okay,
crazy.
but hold on. Okay, so you start writing that.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, I love that. This is why I love having people like yourself on, because when we watch your videos, we're watching like this completed package, right? We're watching it,
Right.
and there's so much you can assume by looking at it. But this is what I
Right.
like. It's the fact that people, especially young artists, if you're listening, the journey is like, I mean, she had already gone through an entire musical journey already.
Bro,
Before
for
she
real.
even got to the starting line to start doing what she's doing right now. And that's again, like, one of the things we talk about on this show a lot is that the number one skill that I keep hearing artists, over 300 episodes now, right? Talking to a bunch of artists, all of them kind of agree on the same thing, is that at the end of the day, it's more about perseverance. And then there's like talent, there's all that other stuff. But that very top one is like the don't quit thing, right? Like the don't quit attitude of no matter what, I'm going to keep going. So when you started getting into obviously I got to think that your parents, you pretty much had a whole organization around you pushing the Spanish thing. So when you start looking into English music, is there a worry from them? Are they like, holy shit, what is she doing?
Oh my God, bro. Let me fucking tell you how this went down. So after high school, I realized that it was kind of like I went through something where I felt like, is this because am I still doing music because I love it, or is it because my parents?
Yeah.
Because I want to make my parents happy. Like, because I used to have so much fun, but now it's feeling so like crazy. Like I don't even know. Like it was starting to feel like really intense and like very demanding and shit, But so I decided to give myself the opportunity to let go and see and decide for myself, So when I told my parents and my teacher that I wanted to take a break from it, they went nuts. They were nuts. They were like, they could not believe it. They were like, you're just so close. Like, I can't, all the money, time, invested, effort into this. Like, how can you do this to us? Blah, blah, blah. My teacher was very disappointed. I mean, imagine that. I'm like so young. I have trauma, personal trauma. I have personal trauma. And then on top of that, because my mom was like, I love my mom, and we've grown so much from all of this. Because I don't want people to think I'm talking about my parents, and I don't want to bash my parents. You know what I mean? Like I'm very grateful for my parents. My parents have been the best, done the best with what they could. But yeah, I feel like my mom, with her background, she just got very zoned in, and like it just took over her, I guess, or something, and it just became a little bit toxic. It just became a little bit toxic. Like shit, if I wasn't hitting the notes right, I was getting pinched by my teacher or my mom. You know what I mean? It got like that. It got like something like a whoa, like.
Because I'm sure in some way your mom probably saw this, like the loving part of her probably saw it as, this is my way to keep her safe, right? Like if she just does this, she'll be set up, she's good to go, and she did it. I don't have to worry, right? And then you breaking away from that had to have worried her, because she's like, oh shit, there goes the plan. Like the whole plan is going to shit.
Right. But you gotta think about it too. Like, we come from a very humble environment. Like, where my mom comes from, she comes from a rancho, like a ranch, you know, like she comes from a very small town. Like, I'm talking about no pavement, cornfields, and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So this was a huge opportunity for her daughter, which I totally understand. And two, the way that they grew up, like when my mom used to go to school, they used to hit her. The teacher used to hit her, you know?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that now that I'm older, before I had a lot of resentment because of these things. That's why whenever I listen to interviews by like Michael Jackson and like hearing the stories of his dad like beating him and stuff, I understand that, because I too would get smacked if I didn't hit a note right, if I didn't perform right. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really tough. So then I decided to let go for a little bit. So, but then my teacher it was like they were in denial, you know? So still up until like I was like 19, it was like I was like in and out. Like it's for like a whole year I was in and out of it. And then they would still invite me to like perform at certain places. I would do it. But it wasn't like I was fully like I was before. And then I was about like 19 or 20. That's when I really started to feel weird, because I went to college. I was going to college. I had a regular lifestyle.
Yep.
Had an apartment, was going to college, had a really good job. I was working for a call center, Sony PlayStation, doing like troubleshooting for PlayStations. So I was doing pretty well for myself, you know, like your typical life.
Yeah.
But I still remember messaging my friends and my mom and just telling them, like, I just feel like I'm not complete. Like something is missing and I don't know what it is. Like, why I have everything, but yet I feel like it's not enough. Like, I feel sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I feel sad. I feel like something is going on and I can't pinpoint it.
Yeah.
So one day I went, but by that time, so I remember YouTube was pretty popping, and like, you know, people started doing covers and things like that.
Right.
So I started doing just for fun, like on Facebook. I remember uploading a cover of me performing a song in Spanish still. I was still doing the Spanish thing, but in the background, I was already exploring with my sound. But I felt like I wasn't ready, or confident enough to even share that. So, but with the Spanish share, you know, I was a professional, so
right.
I didn't mind doing that. And so I remember posting the cover, and people were so supportive on Facebook. So I'm like, that was fun. I haven't done that in a long time. That was what opened up the doors for me to do covers and uploading them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of clout doing that.
Yeah.
On YouTube. But then I remember I went to visit my performance teacher one day at her studio, and I told her, I said, I don't know, I just feel like something is missing. And she was like, well, let me ask you this, like, what makes you feel complete?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you feel like, wow, like this fulfilling, feeling?
Right.
And I said, I just thought about it for a second, and I'm like, number one, my family, the people that I love, and music. Like when I'm on stage performing, that's what makes me feel good. And I swear to God, I swear to you that ever since that day, and I realized that, I didn't let go of music ever since that day. Yeah, so I went back to doing Spanish music for a bit, but then but when I was a little bit older now, so it got a little bit even more serious, where I was getting offers, getting offers from labels and such. And so the problem was always them wanting to dictate how I would dress. It was kind of like I wasn't Mexican enough,
Oh, wow.
I wasn't Mexican enough.
Yeah.
they wanted me to like tan my skin more. They wanted me to wear the hat and the boots, and they wanted me to even date guys that look more Mexican, more Spanish.
Oh wow.
Wanted me to talk with more slang, more Mexican slang and such. So I just felt like once again like so disappointed. I'm like, once again, okay, now it's not my parents.
Yeah.
Now it's the labels that want me to do this. And so I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, I just felt kind of cornered into deciding what to do with my future. And it didn't cross my mind to just take it, but something in my heart that I can't explain, like a gut feeling, like something was telling me, like, no, this is wrong. Like you're really gonna put yourself through this all over again.
Right.
And I was like, no, I can't do this. And yeah, I went and uh I did it all over again. Disappointed my family, disappointed my teacher
Oh
all over
shit.
again. And I was like, but this time I didn't quit. It's just that I said I don't want to do this style. I think I want to do my own thing. Right?
Ooh.
And it was really tough because they didn't really understand. My teacher was a little
Did your
bit
mom
more.
cry?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
I know the Mexican moms. That's
Right.
rough. That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my teacher was a little bit more supportive, but she was just like, you know, maybe I don't know, like, I mean, I'm here to support you. She still does. She still supports me. I mean, my teacher, let me tell you about my teacher.
Yeah.
My teacher, she is someone that I owe something to her. Like probably when I get my first plaque, I'm probably gonna send her one because I owe her that, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, she's worked for the Grammys, Univision. She like set up the stages and dancers and gets all the talent for them.
Yeah.
She's worked with like Ricky Martin. I mean, she saw Ricky Martin pass through her stage, by the Fremont stage.
Oh wow.
When Ricky Martin wasn't even Ricky Martin yet.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Hella other artists. So my teacher, she went to Bellas Artes School of Art, like the most prestigious school of art in the country in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like my teacher has traveled the world. Like she's someone that was really tough and that I really like admire and like still I just felt like dang, I really can't believe I'm doing this. You know, I didn't want to hurt someone that I cared so much about, but I really felt like I wasn't giving him my all, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
that must have been weird though, right? Because it was like her advice, really.
Right.
Her advice actually made you kind of push away from what they were doing already. Yeah, that's weird.
Right. Yeah, and so it's after I told him that, I remember going to a couple of sessions. Well, with like I remember this particular session I went to, and I did a Spanish song that I had recorded it, and it was horrible. I remember coming home and crying, and I'm like, I hated it. Number one, I had no idea how to record this, right? Because usually I had a live band.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot different the recording process for English music. And I remember just my friend, like I'm just keep it a little bit PG-13, but I remember an exchange of products so that I could have studio time because my friend really believed in me, you know?
Oh, I got you.
So I pulled up and it wasn't even like a real session, really. Like this guy just half-assed shit, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't really getting money for it.
Sure.
He was getting product, but he wasn't getting money for it. So I remember just pulling up and I did everything in one take. Like who does that? You know, maybe sometimes. No auto-tune, no effects, no nothing.
Right.
Just straight raw, like nothing, you know, not even a light mix, nothing to it. And I remember coming home and listening to it and I just felt so defeated. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? This is horrible. I remember, and one of my homies, an artist from out here, he was like, no, you can't give up. Like, it's fine. Like, you just got to keep trying. It was just a bad session, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But you had just come from like a very professional atmosphere, right? So you were used to like working professionally, and then you go into this. Did you think like, oh man, maybe I made the wrong choice for a second? Were you like, oh no?
I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did. But like something I just have like a burning desire in me that just doesn't let me fucking give up, you know?
Yeah.
And so after that, it took me a whole year. I was mad depressed during this time. People didn't even know, how depressed I was, but I really was. I was going through a really rough time. My family, they weren't very supportive at the beginning of it, and they just didn't understand it, like they were supporting me like, all right, go ahead, do your thing, but they weren't really involved anymore, or I could just tell they weren't really vibing,
Did you think that did you think that maybe they thought you were just going through a phase and maybe you'd be back?
Probably. Probably they did. And so how Zelly Vibes came about, well, my real name is Zell.
Mm-hmm.
So IKZEL. So my family and friends call me Zell.
Yeah.
So Zelly.
Yeah.
And so during this whole year I was trying new things and things to keep me creative. And so I remember I had I had a website and I had a blog where I would just share things that I was interested about, just like fashion, hair, informative things. Like, I don't know, I just post things like that online. Just trying this whole thing of like trial and error on Instagram, and see like what would work for me.
Yeah.
And so so I would have that. I would post that, and then I named it Zelly Vibes, like my vibes,
Right.
So just stuff that I fuck with.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the Zelly Vibes blog, that's what it was. And so when I didn't even know I was gonna use that as my name, but because it would be like my name anyways, you know what I mean? But I didn't know I'm gonna go with that stage name. But so then that whole year, I remember one time finally I decided to change my Instagram name because I was like, I'm just gonna change my Instagram name. Like, I'm not even doing the old shit no more,
Yeah.
So by this time, I'm not even posting anymore covers or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like vibing.
Yeah.
But I am working behind closed doors. Like I am only writing by myself and listening to beats on YouTube and things like that.
Yeah.
And so and so then one time I finally changed the name and I changed it to Zelly Vibes. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna use the blog name for now.
Right.
And so so I changed all my social medias to Zelly Vibes. And then I remember I was going through that, whatever, and finally after a whole year of just trial and error, I finally came across this song that I wrote that is called Heavy Submarine, which is the first song that I ever put out.
Wait. We need to stop. Yeah. That was the first song?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah,
okay, because that's the first song that we heard on our side, and that was, it's an amazing song. It's a fucking catchy, dude. Low key, I'm gonna tell you right now. And the guys are probably gonna laugh about this, but we'd sing that song all the fucking time before we go on set. We'd always be like, before the shows, after we had seen you, because it's one of those songs that just gets caught in your head, and it's But that was your first shot,
right? Well, let me tell you. But you know what? A funny story for your listeners.
Yeah.
So I remember my friend Carla. She was very supportive, and she actually helped me find a studio on Google, on Craigslist actually. And let me tell you why. Because I knew only one artist in Las Vegas that did English music.
Yeah.
And when it came to asking him, where can I record? He didn't know where to record all of a sudden. And then when it would come down to, I even asked, I knew he had a studio.
Sure.
And so I asked him, I was like, hey, can I just record at your house? Like, I'll pay you, I'll pay you. I didn't know where to start.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. I was on my own now. No performance teacher, no manager, no parents, or nothing.
Yeah.
My own bread, everything, So I'm like, I don't know where to start, whatever. Guess what? Did he tell me? No. Did he help me? No. Did he refer me to anybody? No. He will it's broken, but he was there, damn right, recording himself. No, he just didn't want to help me. He just didn't want to help me, and that's just what it was.
Why do you think that was?
I just feel like some people are full of themselves. I feel like some people have egos.
Yeah.
Some people have
like
egos,
maybe he wanted to control the situation more, and this was his way to control it. Yeah.
Maybe this was like, why is she going to do this now, or like maybe some people don't want to help other people, and that's just what it is.
For real.
That's just what it is. There, a lot of the times, and I had to grow from this because I've gone through so much that at one point I felt like that too. Well, nobody fucking helped me. Why am I gonna help other people? Why?
Yeah.
Why? I had to go through all of this. Why can't you go through everything I went through?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think that way anymore.
Yeah.
But I did at one point.
Yeah, because it was hardening your heart. It was hardening your heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a human being, and you know what? It is what it is. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
It made me stronger, anyways. So
yeah.
So after that,
so Craigslist. You're on Craigslist. You're looking for a studio.
I'm on Craigslist, and I pull up to this studio. Yo, shout out to them because they was trying to. You know what I mean? It was also they was trying to, like.
Yeah.
I pull up to the studio. It's in a garage. And it's like a whole family, and the husband has his studio in the garage. And I have a whole breakdown that night because I was going through a breakup at the time. Number one,
no.
I'm already dealing with everything else, right? So I pull up to the session. It's a garage studio. It's hot. I'm by myself. I'm alone.
Oh wow.
And I'm nervous as hell. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just cry. I just cry mid-session. Like I just start falling out. But I did finish one track. And no one will ever in life hear it. Never. I've only showed 2 people ever.
Yeah.
This DJ that helped me mix Heavy Submarine. He helped me mix Heavy Submarine. He didn't even know how to mix anything.
Yeah.
He was one of my DJ friends and was just trying to help me. He just added reverb to it and just call it a day,
Yeah.
But I'll get into that later. But yeah, so I had that session. That was my first session, and then after that I'm like, okay, no, I need to go to another studio. Like, I feel like it can get better. So after that, I just posted on. I had a pretty good following online at this point.
Right.
Back when Instagram started and the algorithm was nothing like this, I had already like 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
On it, just for my Spanish music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so.
So you had a foundation to at least kind of build on.
Yeah, I was pretty popping in Spanish, and you know what's crazy? A lot of the people that were on the come up with me during that time, they're popping now.
Oh wow!
They're signed to labels, and like they're big. They're like they're doing big shit. You know. So I know that if I would have stayed, I probably would have blown up. Yeah, I do think so.
Yeah.
But it just, I feel like this was the best choice I could have ever made for myself. I don't care everything that I went through. Like, I would do it all over again because I feel so happy. I feel so successful. I feel so great about this choice. Like, it makes me feel so happy. I'm finally true to myself,
Right.
And that's priceless. Like, seriously. And so so I posted it online. I said, can anyone please refer me to a studio? And only one person replied to me. And I'm telling you something about people don't want to help. Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. 10,000 followers and only one person referred me to a studio.
Wow.
Finally, they referred me to a studio, Diamond Cut Studios, and on Industrial. And so I went over there, and I had a session. My girl D, so supportive, went to the session with me. My girl Daisy, and we pulled up with her kid and everything, little baby Gabriel sleep on the couch, and I'm just doing my thing. That's when I recorded Heavy Submarine, and then after that, I sent it off to my homie from Texas, my DJ homie, and he just threw some reverb on it. I posted it, and it was like crazy.
Yeah.
People, I I mean, yes, it was pretty impressive, to be the first song that I ever released, and just to have that support, it was like a dream turned into reality. Like,
well, let me share this with you because now that I'm aware that as that was happening with you and I was aware of it. I was watching it happen. I didn't know that was the beginning of Zelly Vibes though. Cause like I said, it seemed like such a complete package already. Like some of the people that I knew who knew of you were already speaking very highly of you, but I understand now, like this was like this was your second attempt at taking this on again by yourself. Like,
right.
So, wow. So, okay. So that starts to pop. Obviously people are feeling the music right away.
Yeah.
Is that a good feeling for you? Were you surprised or were you like, yo, yes. I got one?
I was.
Yeah.
Well, it started by during that whole year, I would perform a cappella or sometimes with a beat to my friends and see if my friends fucked with it. Because my whole thing is like, okay, my friends vibe with it, then it's popping,
Got you.
And if it's not, then I hope that they'll tell me, because then I gotta keep working,
Right.
But yeah, they loved it. They were very supportive over it. And yeah, I remember them being like so shocked and surprised too. They're like, oh my God, this is pretty good,
Yeah.
And but my parents were still not supportive of it. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
But they were like, okay, well, she's still doing it. That's cool. It's kind of like, all right, cool. She's still doing it. And so, yeah, a lot of the people thought, I don't know, that maybe it was just like that. But I mean, imagine that's a whole year of working on my sound.
Right.
Plus all the other time.
Yeah.
That I didn't even release anything.
No, this was a lifelong journey. That's what I'm saying. Like, right. I'm glad you're telling the story, because I think, a lot of people, we cover your music on our site too. And I'm sure there's no way people can just deduct that by looking at the end product, because again, like I said, there's so much. I mean, one of the things that, and I definitely want to get into this with you, is like one of the things that you do really, really well, man. Like, and it's, I tell other people to watch what you do when you do this, is like your eye for your style, your eye for your visuals, all the way down to the Instagram, like everything, all those little pieces are so well thought out, right? And there's also like, you'll take risks, you'll do all these different things, but they seem so well thought out. Is like the style part of what you do, was that something you had at the beginning? Did you already know, like, yo, I'm gonna drop a whole new style on them. I'm gonna drop these whole new visuals. I want them to see me in this whole new light. Was that something that you had from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening at the time when Heavy Submarine came out. I was listening to that style of music. I was listening to Magic Jordan. I was listening to Kali Uchis.
Yeah.
Doja Cat. And you know how popular she is now? She was more underground. I was listening to that. Selena has been my number one inspiration. I'm a huge fan of Selena Quintanilla, that, unfortunately passed away at a very young age. I'm a very, I'm like a huge fan of hers. I feel like she really paved the way for girls like me. When she died, she was doing Dreaming of You. She was doing a whole project transitioning to English music, when she passed away. And so I always think about what she would do if she was here, so the style, I feel like that's something that you just have to mold on the way, because like, for example, right, the braids, my hair really just happened because I had an accident with bleach. I left on the bleach for too long. And so it was, I lost my hair. A lot of people don't even know that, but I lost a lot of my hair. So when I went to the salon, they told me I had to, they couldn't do anything for me for my hair. I needed to wait until it would grow back. So my stylist said that I either had to do wigs or braids. So I started off with wigs, and then I started with braids, and then so I just felt so much prettier with wearing braids. I felt like I felt much more comfortable, much more prettier, and it was really helping my hair. So that's how that came about. And then I just did it for so long that it was to the point where I would take off my braids to let my hair breathe for a bit, and people wouldn't even recognize me without the braids,
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, so this is crazy. I didn't plan it to be like that. It just happened. And that was that. And then after that, this styled with what I wear. I don't know. I'm very inspired by Aaliyah, very inspired by Selena. If you were to see photos of me, how I used to dress even before Zelly Vibes, I was very inspired by Selena and Aaliyah, like the same thing, just a little bit different,
I see that.
I was still
I
wearing
see
the
that now.
bustiers, bralettes. I was still doing that, and so then after that, it just kind of came afterwards. Like I don't know, like it just came with time. I kind of started seeing like, okay, well, I like this, I don't like that, and then um uh I started the reason why I started making turn up music. Well, hold on. Let me just tell you how I even got my first show.
Sure. Yeah.
I really want to be informative for your audience.
Absolutely.
When I dropped Heavy Submarine, it was only on SoundCloud. I had no idea how to put it on
the
iTunes,
streaming services.
Spotify. Yeah, I didn't know how to do any of that. I didn't even know how to even do the whole producer thing, the credits, nothing, like at all. I didn't know none of that. So it was only on SoundCloud. And then I had to learn, I had to educate myself on it. Google and YouTube are your best friends. Okay. And if I did it, anyone can do it. Like seriously, if it's 2020, okay, and you have a phone, you have a way of getting on Google or YouTube, please educate yourself. Please, please. Okay, like don't go over there just on type of beats and all of that and stealing people's work. You have to do things right. You have to do things right. And it is affordable. There are leases that you can buy. There's exclusive leases or regular leases that you can work out with the producer, whether it's on YouTube, they have a link, or to me, it's better to work with producers in person.
Yeah.
Or not in person, but within, like, in real life,
Right.
Yeah. So for anyone out there that's listening to this, do things right. Please use Google and YouTube to educate yourselves. There's everything you need to know there. How do I get my music on Spotify? How do I? Because believe it or not, there's people who still don't know how to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think it's important for them to know that. And so my first show came after Heavy Submarine. I only had that song. At the time, DJ Shakespeare from out here from Vegas, he's very known for trolling on Twitter. But he was actually a very key for a lot of local artists from Vegas. He was running local shows out here in Vegas. And so he gave me my first show with the English music, and I only had one song, right? So then I needed to make another song or two songs. So yeah, so I at this point, by the time I had my first show, I already had like 3 songs.
Okay.
Which is the 2 other songs are part of Zelly Vibes, the mixtape, which is the first mixtape that I ever had, which includes all my earlier work that you can now only find on SoundCloud, by the way. So if anyone wanted to go down the memory lane and listen from my very first English song to my progress till today, everything is on SoundCloud.
Dope.
I didn't just wake up and sound like this, That's why I left it too, for people to, whenever people tell me, oh, you sound like this so-and-so or whatever, no, sweetheart. No. I didn't wake up and just sound like this. I'm not a plant. Like, I really had to put in the work.
Yo, and if you guys are listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found, go over to platformcollection.com right now, and we'll put that link up right under the video so you can go check all these things out that she's talking about while you're watching the video.
Thank you. That's love. Yeah. So I called up all of my homies. I mean, even friends from California came to that show. It was a huge deal, you know, like
yeah.
It was crazy. Yo, this place, I still have a video of this. I'm gonna send it to you one of these days.
That'd be dope.
You can see my first show ever. Man, it was popping. The place was packed. Like packed. Everyone had came and supported everyone. Like it was so lit.
And this was all you self-promoting, getting the word out. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so it was very successful. So this is when I was like, damn, like this is it. This is it. Like I finally feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm on to something.
It made everything worth it. Then from after that, it's just history. I kept on working on my sound. I kept working on my sound. I kept working on my diction, which was, if you hear my earlier work, you can notice the difference. I feel like doing English music has gotten my English like it is now. Because my diction wasn't very good. I mean, I've learned in the past, since 2016 to now, I feel like my English has gotten so much better. I've learned so many new words. I mean, probably everything I should have learned in school, you know?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I feel like my diction, I had to learn. I had to enunciate better. And it took a lot of growth for me to even recognize that, because at the beginning, you know, like you have such ego, and I'm already like sensitive about my art, you know. And so when people would tell me like, oh, well, I can't understand what you're saying, my response was always like, well, you wouldn't tell Young Thug that. You wouldn't tell him that. You know what I mean? You wouldn't tell him that. And you wouldn't, and if you really don't know what I'm saying, then the lyrics are up online. On genius.com, you know. But then I started realizing what is really separating me from a more professional level, like, you know, like what's holding me back. And that's always been my thing, to like, I feel like there has to be a balance when you're listening to criticism. There's constructive criticism, and then there's people who just have a fucking opinion, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just because people have an opinion doesn't mean that their opinion is right.
Part of this business, being a professional, is like is determining which opinions to listen to. That's a big part of being professional. Trying things out, trial and error, trying things out and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and, you know, just going with your gut. Like, there's a lot of times where, like I said, it's people's ego, so you kind of gotta step back, humble yourself, and be the student. Because we all have to be students before we can master something, you know? So, just pretty much being open to that. And finally, I was open to it. And I saw what it did. Like, you know, now it's like my music can really be global. People can understand whatever ethnicity you are, you can understand. And I feel like I still have an accent, you know? But it's still a lot better than it was before. Like, definitely a lot better. Zelly, let me ask you this. Like, just because I'm curious about this. Do you think in Spanish? Like, when you're thinking in your mind, like the voice you hear, is it in Spanish or is it in English?
Yeah, and I count in Spanish too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's really weird. I was telling some of my friends, because some of my friends tell me that they say that sometimes I speak to them in Spanish, but I don't realize it.
Oh, wow.
They're like, you just spoke to me in Spanish. And I'm like, no, I didn't. They're like, yeah, you did. I don't know what, like, and a lot of my homies, they tell me that they put two and two together what I'm saying, because I mix my Spanish with my English. And so they end up realizing what I meant. But I be doing that. And then whenever I go to Mexico, I do the same thing in English. So I'm telling you, it fucked me up.
No, I mean, it sounds very challenging. Like, that's why I was asking, because I think the average listener and the people that are listening right now who maybe don't speak two dialects, right? They might, it would be hard for them to understand. And that's why I wanted to bring that to light, because that's got to be challenging if in your mind the first stuff that's happening is in Spanish, and then you're interpreting it as it's coming out constant. Like, it never stops. It's constantly happening all the time, every day.
Yeah.
Wow,
Right.
yeah, that's got to be
Yeah.
challenging. Do you meditate, Zelly? Do you like?
I
What do you do to? What do you do to
Bro,
like
I'm
get
gonna
that
tell you
stress
what I
off?
do.
Yeah,
Look at this. I'm gonna tell you. I have 2 calendars. Number
yeah.
one,
Let
I
me
have
see. Good
one of
God.
these. I have another board where I've divided into 3 things. Right? Let me fucking show you. I divided into 3 things, which is up next to do self-care. And so,
Wow.
yeah, I cross it. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. We see.
But
Here, let me see if I can bring you on. Boom. Bring it over a little bit. The other way. There you go. Boom. Yeah. Oh wow. Fucking.
And so I just cross them out.
And that's
I
in
cross.
English.
Yeah, this is in English, and
What?
so I write in English. I'm actually better at writing in English because I feel like you know, I kind of got you. I know how to write in Spanish too.
Yeah.
But I feel like my spelling is better in English.
Wow.
You know, and two, you know what? Now that I'm older, it's kind of like whenever I go to Mexico, my Spanish is not even like it was before. I'm telling you, like this whole thing of being in the middle, it really like I feel that's why I had kind of resentment with that whole thing because
Yeah.
I was grateful because my life obviously is better than it was in Mexico because
Right.
my parents were able to offer us a better quality of life, of lifestyle. But did I have to go through a lot? Yeah, maybe there's people that is harder than other people. There's people that can speak up to 7 languages.
Sure.
There's people that is really tough. You know, there's people that have been here in years, that have been in America for years, and it's still really challenging for them. You know, like my parents. My dad speaks better English than my mom does, but yeah, I read a lot, bro. I read a lot. Right now, I'm reading this book that I want to show you. I read a lot. That's how I keep saying. Right now, I'm thinking.
Wow. Yep.
I'm reading.
I love
Think
that
and
book.
Grow Rich.
I love that book.
I have this other book too. All you need to know about the music business.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, and a lot of that, and in that, there's still.
That's a very dense book. That's a very dense and very wordy book. Yeah.
It really is. And there's still so many other things, bro. Like I have affirmations. I have it everywhere. Look, I have affirmations.
Okay, so you are taking care of your mind. You are definitely trying to heal because like I said, like I feel like, well, one, you're a creative person, right? So this is one of the things that I always share with my creative friends is like we have the ability to if there's something bad, it can be really bad because you have such an imagination on how to paint the picture, right? So you're painting this perfect picture that other people might not be able to do. But then you also have to manage the business side, which takes a different part of your brain. You got to write. You got to find creativity, right? You got to open yourself to the creativity. All these things constantly. Does it affect your does it affect like what's your day to day? Like is your day to day, are you able to like how often do you have just time to yourself by yourself?
I actually just got back from Miami from shooting a video out there. I got here on Monday night, and so yesterday is the first day that I slept the whole entire day.
Oh wow!
In the whole year, like, bro, when I tell you this pandemic, it like didn't slow me down. Like, it's so crazy. I've had a lot of blessings. I've had a lot of work. And yeah, it's probably the best sleep I've gotten in the whole entire year.
Wow.
Like I was so done. I was so mentally exhausted. Like I just woke up to eat and then went right back to sleep. I feel so recharged right now. But my day to day definitely, which is what I recommend everybody is, I'm gonna put you on real quick and all your listeners.
Hell yeah.
Let me tell you something. So I discovered that it's very easy for a human being to like be lost in the sauce. You know, like us as human beings, it's really easy for us to get lost in the sauce. And it's really easy for us to fall into this like depressive hole, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And bro, I call them like episodes. Like, bro, it's very overwhelming being an independent artist because number one, I'm a full-time independent artist, right? And so I have to manage my money well.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way how to manage my money well. Making a lot of sacrifices. Like, bro, like, man, I be dropping the bags on all these projects and things that I do. Like, everything is funded by me.
Right.
So I'm making pretty decent amount of money, and people don't see me in designer and shit like that. But that's because I'm investing it.
Hell yeah.
You know, investing it back into my videos,
Very important.
into like everything that I gotta be doing. You know, like promotion, everything. Like it's a business. It's a business, and I feel like a lot of people fail to realize that
important.
you are a brand. It's like, okay, it's like Macy's or Sears or any other brand. It's the same thing. But the only difference is that you are the face of it. You are the CEO. You are the product. You are the manager. You are corporate. You are everything, right? And so I had to learn how to manage my money well. That's a very important thing. You have to learn how to make sacrifices. You know, I don't want to hear anybody tell me, oh, but the video is like $500 or $1,000. Okay, but you do eat out, right? You eat out. Bro, like I'm telling you, I've made so many sacrifices, like where a lot of like for the longest, like a lot of my clothes and things was more like gifts. You know, the only times I ever really spend money on is when I have videos, you know, and things like that for like outfits or certain looks that I'm looking for. But other than that, like, you know, I gotta do a thrift store. Like I gotta do whatever I gotta do to offer the quality that my audience deserves, because they really be going hard for me. And it's just a business. Like you just gotta invest. You can't think that, oh, I want people to invest money in me, buy my merch and buy this and that, when you don't even want to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you want people to invest to spend money on you when you don't even want to spend money on yourself? Like it just doesn't add up. You know, it really doesn't.
Fire
and
bars.
So, yeah, bro. And so I've learned how to balance that, and even getting up on the days that I don't feel like getting up, because you don't have a schedule, you're not clocking in. But you know what? You know when you realize if you clocked in, when you see the results, if you see the consistency, you know. And I think that's what separates a lot of the people.
Yes,
From
huge.
being real artists and being professional than the people that are just doing it to see if something happens. You know, I can't like if I'm really risking my all, like I'm really doing this, you know. I said to myself, like I'm really gonna give it my all. And that's I feel like that's been my thing. And being resourceful, because yes, do I wish I had the $10,000 for budget for the videos? Yes, but it's gonna look like it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure that it looks like it. I'm gonna make sure that it looks like I have the $10,000 budget.
And you're doing an amazing job at that, man. Honestly, you're doing an amazing job at that. It's so inspiring too to hear. I think it's super important, especially for the ladies and the artists, that the female artists coming up, that you run your show. You know what I mean? Like that is such a must. Like the ownership of the resources may not always be there, right, for everybody, but the ownership of the ideas and the creative is something that should be so protected, and you do that so well. Like it's you.
Thank you.
And now for people who may have doubted, right, now you know that signature sound, the everything she's doing, that's her action. It might as well be her handwriting, because that's actually her. She's stamping all of that stuff. Dude, I don't want to. We're coming up against the clock, but I wanna ask you a few real quick questions, stuff that I've been wondering about. Okay, so if you had to tell people, well, let's start with this one, because I love to ask this question. If you are your own manager, right? Basically, you're the at least the last word on everything. Yeah. If you had unlimited resources, right? If somebody gave you unlimited resources, you as your own manager, what does Zelly Vibe need right now that would put you to the level that you want to be working at right now? Like, what would need to happen?
Well, honestly, I feel very successful with what I have, because it's real. Like, I feel like I I started to focus on the people that were around me. I started building with the people that are around me. Definitely, you know, whenever you contact people to work with a budget, people are gonna work with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't be crazy and expect everything fucking for free. You know, some people will collaborate with you. Some people, like, you have to respect it. You know, and just come at them correct. But you know, I feel pretty successful, and but if I had unlimited resources, I feel like honestly, it would just be I would say features with artists that I want to work with. And everything promotion. Like
Promotion.
I would drop a bag on billboards, drop a bag on more playlisting. I would drop a bag on YouTube ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. That's it. Just ads.
Dope.
I would even hire a street team. I would hire a street team to pass out everything, to be with signs, all of that. Yeah, I would do that.
There you go. Dude, I definitely want to have you on again. We're going to do, as you were saying that right now, I just realized you'd be perfect for this. We're going to have a panel of artists on soon, where we talk to like 4 or 5 artists about about stuff like that, about marketing and thoughts that go into that, and how to utilize your resources so that we can really give something to the community that they can watch and go like, oh, this is how you do it. Here's an example of 5 people who do it. And they're telling you literally, this is how I did it. And guys, if you're listening, I mean, she laid it out for you. If you have any excuses, if you have anything, she just literally laid it out for you. Plus, on top of the challenges of not even coming here, as this being her first language, that wasn't even there, right? The traveling, the early working, the stuff with her family, everything. And she still found the way to push through that. Dude, honestly, I'm inspired, Zelly. I'm super glad we got you on the show finally. You've been on our list for a while, and I'm glad to. Hopefully you'll be a regular now. You'll just come through anytime you need.
Please. You know,
anytime you want to come through and promote something, you just call us, and you're on for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Part of my life purpose really is to tell others what has helped me. You know, to hopefully inspire them, to hopefully for them to grab whatever works for them and apply it to their life. Because you know what, it's like everyone has their own blueprint, right? But I hope that I can give you some type of insight. I don't want to hold the knowledge. I want to pass it on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's enough light for all of us to shine. And you know, I just feel like I love this opportunity. Really, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for allowing artists like myself, you know, to just come here and express ourselves and share our testimony. And I really hope that your listeners were able to take something from this. And it's like, for real, a pleasure. I value these moments so much.
Me too.
And I can't wait to be back and share more. Like, there's guys, like, there's still so much.
Hell yeah.
So much.
Dude, literally, I'm telling you right now, and so my listeners can keep me to this, so they're hearing me say it. They know I'm going to keep the promise if I say it. Zelly, if you're literally just at home and you're like, you know what, I just thought of a good idea for a show, hit me up. We'll make it happen. For sure. I think it's important that people hear stories like yours. I think it's super powerful, especially right now, when people are looking for answers. You know, people are looking for answers. And you're, dude, by the way, another thing, total side note, guys, if you're an artist and you're trying to come on a show, this is what you do. This is what she just did, is what you do. Just let it out, y'all. Like, we aren't shit without each other. We need to be able to help each other. We need to be able to add to each other a little bit, like spice. Right? Like, that's all we're doing, is trying to spice each other's life a little bit and hopefully find some kind of healing in that. And thank you so much for doing that, dude. Guys, follow Zelly Vibes. Follow everything she's doing. Again, if you're listening to this on the audio version, you can go to platformcollection.com, watch the video version, and you'll also see Zelly's links there. You can also go to platformcollection.com, just type in Zelly Vibes and see the stuff that we've covered. So, dude, please send all your music over. Make sure that we have it well represented. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
That's the homegirl Zelly Vibes, man. What can I say? She's one of the good ones, you know. Man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. The very first time I saw Zelly, I was like, oh, what's going on here? What is this? Is this real? Is this, because it looks so polished already, right? And this is why I wanted to have her on the show, because I wanted to know for myself, like, yo, I see the vision, I see the things. What is this authentic? Is this something that we can get behind as a company, as a community? And now I know the answer. Absolutely fucking yes. Zelly Vibes is the real deal. There's no doubt about that. She is the real deal. She manages her own shit. She just told you everything she puts into the video, that's her. She's putting that, she funds it. Man, I know there's a lot of you rappers out there right now listening and going, I better shut the fuck up. I complain too much. You do complain too much. She's winning. Cheers for Zelly Vibes. I'm even more of a fan now than I was before. So super dope. And I'll tell you this, the Fresh State rides for Zelly Vibes. If you know about the Fresh State, we ride for Zelly Vibes. We're always playing her music. We think it's dope. We see the vision. So guys, platformcollection.com. Go there. Like I said, follow Zelly Vibes everywhere. You can just type it in. And she does really, when researching the show, she really does have a great history documented online. So go there. And then she also said SoundCloud. You'll click the link at platformcollection.com as well when this comes out, and you'll see. You'll see for yourself. The vibes run deep. The roots run deep. She's not playing. Zelly Vibes. We'll see you guys next time. Go to platformcollection.com, buy some merch. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell people about the show. Shout out to Vegas if you're tuning in, because I know Zelly represents Vegas. Shout out to Vegas. Hold your head, y'all, and keep each other safe. We'll talk to you soon.